I've been sitting here thinking about the physical body and the spiritual journey, and I think about this often because there's a tendency on the spiritual path to neglect the body or to think of it in some kind of objective way and to in some ways solve the riddle of the body, because in many ways it's a problem to us, and also I speak about this, and I'm prepared to speak about this, and I like to speak about this because of the experience that I have and have had with my own body, and how really to cut to the chase, to cut it, to get to it. I really have learned that resistance to the body, fighting with it, struggling with it, being fearful of it, being angry with it, is no solution on the path if equanimity or grace or presence or love or peace, simple peace, is what we want. The body has to be included on the journey. And when we say has to be included on the journey, I'm talking about entering the body with presence, entering the body with love, entering the body so that the experience of the body is one of intimacy, not one of thinking. In many ways what we've done over the years and what we do is to experience a kind of separation between us and the body. There's a secret sort of objectification of the body. It's like me and my body. Yeah. The body is a thing, and as soon as we separate the body out as being a thing, it easily becomes a problem. It becomes almost an enemy that we need it to keep going, and we want it to keep going, but to just go about its business and not bother us. But body doesn't work like that. Body is a body, emotion, mind is a kind of symbiosis. It's a flowing river. And you'll notice that if you get reactive, or you have fear, or you have anxiety, stress, any of those kind of things, where do you feel them really? You feel them at least partially, in the body system, in the gut. Gut is a big place, or in the heart, or in the subtle energy body system. It ramps up, it's nervous, the immune system might go, the nervous system might come on track. And that's very, very, very hardwired to the emotional system, and the emotional system and the mental system, are fundamentally connected, and the mental, emotional, physical systems are intraconnected. They're all moving with each other. And so to neglect the body, to neglect the emotional body, to neglect the mental body, and to neglect almost the kind of chemical body, if you like, on the path, is almost it feels like an error. It feels like a mistake. You can't bypass it. You can't get rid of it. It's not that easily done. And if there is wounding, and if there is trauma, and if there is trouble, or if there is radical sensitivity, I know a lot of people on the spiritual path, and it does come up, this sensitivity, because in many ways, when we're fully identified with the self out there in the world, and doing this thing, we push the sensitivity away. It's pushed away into the shadows. Still, it's there, of course, but it doesn't make itself known in any kind of conscious way. So it sort of manifests in our life in an unconscious way. But as soon as you start opening up to any degree on the spiritual path, sensitivity arises. And that sensitivity is a good thing. It's a doorway. It's an invitation to enter the body and not pull away from it all the time. And that does require a certain strength and courage and willingness to meet the energy of what's rising up. There's fear coming. If there's fear in the system, enter it. If there's anxiety in the system, don't just fight with it from a mental level. Have the capacity and the willingness and the tenacity to enter it on the level of love, on the level of intimacy. Become intimate with it. If it helps, kind of fall into it, falling into the body system. And that means we have to meet fear. It does mean you have to enter and penetrate through the density of this tightness that has built up maybe in the body, and the capacity that we have to sort of enter it brings us into presence. It's all energy, right? It's all energy. Body is an energy system on that level. And we're not talking just about illness, but the same thing applies. We get ill. Some symptoms come up. Half of the symptoms come up and they can go the next day, but they cause this great catastrophe in our thinking or in emotions. But we could do well with penetrating, entering with intimacy the suffering, the symptom. Where is it? What is happening here? What's going on? What do I feel? Can I be with it? Can I let it come up without even understanding it? Presence is not about understanding. Entering the body is not about understanding. You don't have to think about it. You have to almost bypass thinking and not go even into imagination or visualization or any of those kind of strategies or methods or practices. Of course, they're helpful at times. But what we're talking about is entering it with consciousness, soft presence of consciousness that enters the body system through the body armoring into the place of tightness, just into the areas, just into the system, just falling into this thing that we think is a thing that isn't a thing. And to make friends with that kind of energy system starts to slowly or rapidly have an effect, starts to loosen up the relationship, starts to loosen up the tightness, starts to loosen up the rigidity that lives down in the system, in the nervous system or the gut system or the kidney system or or any of it. It just doesn't matter. It's not about the place, it's about the intention. And the intention is not a mental intention. The intention is almost just a falling into. And that helps because it allows us to breathe. Soft breathing. Mindful, soft breathing in relationship to the body brings about a harmonious kind of experience, more holistic experience. And it stops this head fixation. And so in times of agitation or fear, fall in, breathe, relax, fall in. And something happens. This is a beautiful exercise and a beautiful practice. So I just wanted to jump on and remind everybody to bring the body with you on the spiritual path, not as a thing, not as a piece of luggage, not as a suitcase, but as an inherent, beautiful energy system that also wants to come home to the love that we are.